As a leader in the Minnesota National Guard, the Yellow Ribbon Networks are our continuity for our soldiers and their families during the other 28 days a month that we don't have them, and most importantly on deployments. What we are hoping for, what we desire is a community that embraces their soldiers and airmen when we're there or when we're not there and takes care of their needs. You know, of course, it becomes very important during a deployment because you've got a family that's left without their provider, their father, their mother. So it's very important that we have that network that takes care of their needs when we can't or when others can't. And I think that's what we're striving for with the Yellow Ribbon Network, is a community that's linked together that provides either service or support to their soldiers, airmen, and their families. They have really stepped forward and come together to take care of our soldiers and airmen and their families. And on several occasions, I've had the opportunity to witness it and be part of it. So it makes me very proud to be from Farmington.
My first response was, great, how? The more I talked to her and the more I got involved, I started to realize what an incredible adventure, I'm going to call it an adventure, the Yellow Ribbon is. It makes me feel real proud to be the mayor of Farmington, knowing that people are going out of their way to help. Because years ago, a soldier was a soldier and no one knew and no one paid attention, and now everyone's on alert and everyone knows what families need what and are willing to step up and help. It's really neat. The city gets more community out of it. Instead of everyone going their own separate ways and everyone just kind of minding their own business, now people are coming together, people are knowing each other, people that they would never ever have known without the Yellow Ribbon cause. And that's really neat too. A lot of friendships are being made. People supporting people. People supporting people. It's awesome. It really is.
I went online and looked at the Beyond the Yellow Ribbon initiative just on the general web page, and started thinking about these military families and the things that they have to endure. And again, being a mother of 3, it was a no-brainer for me. I thought, if there's one little tiny thing I can do to give back to these families, I was going to do it. I was at 3 of the 4 Red Bull returns back in February. I went to 3 of them, and I brought my children to all 3 of these returns, and they really didn't know what to expect. The buses came up, and these boys and girls came out, and it was very moving. It was very moving for me as a mother. It was very moving for my kids, and I knew I was just involved in a wonderful thing. The one particular one stuck out in my head. It was this little girl who's probably, I'd say, about 10 years old, and her mother stepped off the bus. And this was on the second return, the second Red Bull return in Stillwater. And her mother stepped off the bus, and the little girl went running into her arms. My daughter was 10 at the time. She's now 11. And I thought, oh my gosh, to be a mother and to leave your child has got to be incredibly excruciating. The one thing for me that is most important with this initiative is not as much the big things, it's the little things. The little moments. So I sat down with our city administrator and I said, what's something that we could do a little bit special, just something that could make us stand out just a little bit to show our support. And we got some flags that line the town, and I was a little nervous about it. I wasn't sure if it was the right thing to do. It just went up so quick, and we got so many of them. We flooded the town. City Hall was flooded with phone calls of people saying, oh my gosh, we are so proud to be residents of this town. The flags simply say, "We support our troops," and it's one single yellow ribbon, and they're very simple flags. They really are, but the one thing that they've done is they've directed a lot of attention to City Hall to say, what's with the flags? What do they represent? What are you doing? And the city then refers to the Beyond the Yellow Ribbon initiative and to the website, which is connected to the City of Lake Elmo website. It's actually been an incredible awareness tool for our city.
The hardest thing we found is that we don't know exactly who all the military families are, so the biggest part is having them come forward and say, but it's my kind of part is working with the schools to help children of military families. The first time my husband was deployed, our son was 3 years old, and I have an amazing family network in Pine City. So I had both my parents and my grandparents and my brother who lives there. So it was nice to know that at a drop of a hat, they were always there for me. We bought a new house while he was deployed, so they helped with the moving process. And it was kind of nice to have kind of all of that going because it kept our minds busy and it kept us physically busy, doing all these things. I knew I had to be at the time to work by 7:30 in the morning, and sometimes it was like you would wake up and be like, oh my gosh, it snowed a foot. How am I going to make this happen? And all of a sudden, someone, usually it was my neighbor, was out there snow blowing my driveway for me. And if we can make that happen for all the military families while they have someone deployed, it speaks. So it's so big. Being through it twice already, it helps me to know how to help instead of, saying, well, just let me know, or I'm only a phone call away. 9 times out of 10, unless you're really, really desperate, we're not going to make that call. So just doing the things out of the goodness of our heart and showing up to maybe do those things is really big. It's not only helping the wives and the children, but it's helping that deployed person too. I know, talking to my husband afterwards and some others that have been deployed, the burden that they carry knowing that their families are maybe in need, or they're not there to shovel snow or mow the lawn or watch the kids for even a half an hour. It's something that these families go through day in and day out. So it is something that's really needed.
I've been deployed twice with the military. The first time the Beyond the Yellow Ribbon program wasn't around, so there wasn't a whole lot of help for my family. I have a wife and 2 kids. My daughter is now 11 and my son is 8. This last deployment, when the Yellow Ribbon was there, was amazingly different and actually probably saved our marriage, very much so. What we call them, the pre-deployment cycle training, where my wife actually got to talk with people, find out about resources that were available that she didn't know existed before, to find help for the kids, and for the kids to meet people who were going through the same situation as we were, was amazingly helpful. It was great. The companies are definitely part of the community that everybody lives in. National Guard soldiers work in these companies in our communities. Their families work in these companies. Without the support of the companies and the involvement, it really is a big piece missing. The company that I and both my wife work for is extremely supportive of the military, is a Beyond the Yellow Ribbon Award recipient. And the support we've gotten from that company has been absolutely overwhelming. As soldiers, when we deploy, we deploy with battle buddies, we deploy with chaplains, with behavioral health specialists. All the support network we need goes with us. Unfortunately, our family doesn't have the training, they don't have the support network, they don't know where to go for help a lot of times, and they're just left to do it all on their own without a lot of support. I think, feel very strongly, based on the 2 deployments that I've had, that there are a lot of people out there who are kind of left standing with nowhere to go. And if we can raise that awareness more by creating the Yellow Ribbon communities and getting more organizations involved and people out there helping, it'll help not only the family left behind, but the soldier who's off doing his job worrying about his family, knowing that there's somebody there that's close to them, that they've worked with, that that their neighbor is aware of what's going on and can be trusted to help out. Different things like that really motivate me to help out the families, because for us it's a job. It's what we do. It's what we're trained to do. We're ready for it, but the families aren't. And it's painful to see those families suffering, and it stresses out the soldiers when they know there's something going on at home that they can't help with. So Beyond the Yellow Ribbon really fills that gap for them.
I watched a young soldier take his seat on the plane, and the guy by the window said, "Son, what's your name?" He said, "Hi, I'm Jimmy, just back from overseas. When these boots touch down in Texas, I'm gonna drop to my knees, 'cause I ain't seen my wife 18 months and 14 days. The man smiled at him and said, "Well, let me be the first to say, welcome home, welcome home. It's good to have you back where you belong. You fought hard for this land you love, and I thank you for all of us. We're proud to call you one of our own. Welcome home." And then the man looked away and said, "I know how you must feel. I spent 2 long years in Vietnam. When I got back to Jacksonville, there were protest signs and picket lines, and some girls spit in my face. Hey, I was just a kid trying to make this world a safer place." Then his voice started trembling, and in his eyes I saw a tear. He said, "I didn't need a hero's welcome, but it's sure been nice to hear. Welcome home, welcome home. It's good to have you back where you belong. You fought hard for this land you love, and I thank you for all of us. We're proud to call you one of our own. Welcome home." Well, the band was playing and the crowd was cheering as we came walking through that gate. Then the soldier stopped and turned to the man standing near him, saluted him and said, "Sir, I know it's a little late, but welcome home. Welcome home. It's good to have you back where you belong. You fought hard for this land you love, and I thank you for all of us. We're proud to call you one of our own. Yeah, we're so proud to call you one